Hello everyone, I'm Yunuk and this is a video to the arrest of p.diddi, reaction to Last Man Goat.
Breaking news, Sean P. Diddy Combs has been arrested and indicted on...
Before we continue, subscribe to Last Man Goat, like, please subscribe to my channel and like it as well. Enjoy.
Charges. The disgraced music icon has faced startling allegations for months of rape, sexual assault.
See, this was the crazy thing to me, is like after everybody started exposing this dude, I was thinking to myself, why the fuck isn't this guy in jail?
It's very simple. He has a lot of money, he knows a lot of people and know to who, to pay not to get in jail.
Well,
yes.
Gun trafficking and drug trafficking.
Oh my goodness. Rape, gun trafficking, drug trafficking, and for months he's out of jail. Oh, so sweet. And after that they say that money doesn't buy you freedom, huh? Okay.
Evening, he was indicted by a grand jury in New York. He was taken into custody in Manhattan, where he's been for the last week in anticipation of these charges. Now, the charges haven't been made public just yet. In fact, the indictment was sealed. But according to the New York Times, a person familiar with the prosecution says they believe Diddy faces charges of racketeering and sex trafficking.
Jesus Christ. Additional charges which are so nice. Racketeering and sex trafficking. Is there something that this guy didn't do?
Jesus.
Diddy's legal team said they were disappointed with the decision to prosecute.
I bet that he is quite disappointed. He just wants to keep his business. Is it that bad? Sex trafficking, drugs? That's sarcasm, by the way.
But mentioned their
disappointed. I bet they are. By the way, his legal team isn't disappointed. They're thrilled and ecstatic.
For sure. You know that his legal team is going to make millions from that case. Damn.
Because this means they're going to get paid.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Cooperative with law enforcement. A statement from his legal team reads, quote, Sean Diddy Combs is a music icon, self-made entrepreneur, loving family man, and self-made flash salesman. Proven philanthropist who has spent the last 30 years building an empire, adoring his children and working to uplift the black community.
Of course.
He is an imperfect person.
If you don't use the card that you are black, you're doing it wrong.
But is not criminal. To his credit, Mr. Combs has been nothing but cooperative with this investigation, and he voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges.
I bet
Please
they did.
reserve your judgment until you have
like he has a choice. They would bring him in force if he doesn't.
Man with nothing to hide, and he looks forward to clearing his name in court.
Is this how they get arrested him? They were quite scared of him. They use that kind of a power fire.
This is really cool, man. I wish I could get one of these. This thing's badass. Look at that. You can. Maybe I should just buy one of these. What do they get? Like 2 gallons to the month?
I'm quite sure that Last Man Goat has enough money to buy actually one of these.
All this comes about 6 months after 2 of Diddy's homes were raided by federal investigators back in March. Then we couldn't confirm Diddy was the target of the Homeland Security raids or what information the feds collected. Most of what we know came from the 5 civil suits with a series of shocking allegations ranging...
I mean, like, if you have 1,000 bottles of baby oil in your house, like, I'm not saying... I mean, like, I just, like, who does that? Right? I mean, who does this? That's crazy. Like, I think that's enough. He's guilty. Whatever it is, he did it. No normal person has that much baby oil. No.
Yeah. Why are you going to use that baby oil? What the fuck is he talking about?
People alleged Diddy raped them, drugged them, and recorded all of that. We can't confirm it just yet, but it was likely those civil lawsuits that led up to the federal investigation and later Diddy's arrest.
Can you imagine if all this stuff ends up being true? This guy's like a fucking, like, menace to society.
Is breaking news. That
menace is weak word, I guess. And he was doing that for years and years. Who knows how many victims he could have if that's all true.
For now, let's take a look back at the allegations leading up to Diddy's arrest. For the past 3 decades, we've come to know Sean Combs as multiple different names. P. Diddy, Puffy, Puff Daddy, Puff. The 54-year-old is a rapper, entrepreneur, and label exec. Things changed for him on March 25th when Homeland Security raided two of his homes, one in California and the other in Florida. There's no word yet whether Diddy himself was the target of those raids, and he's not been charged criminally. That being said, some allegations of his criminal past became a major topic of conversation when news of the raids broke.
This was so stunning when Cassie Ventura filed her lawsuit earlier this year. It kind of broke the dam, and it was just the floodgates opened, and all of these other allegations started to come to the surface.
I feel like this is what happens with everybody, right?
Yeah, I was going to say that. Once there is enough evidence and people to complain, they suddenly everyone start complaining when they see that someone is doing it.
Whether it's like Bill Cosby, Epstein,
yeah,
or
all of them.
Like some like
they were like that. That Me Too movement, like, it started just like that. There was one victim, then the second one, and then tens, hundreds, and more.
As soon as one person comes out, it's always like the first of many. Yeah, it's never like only one person gets negatively affected. There's like dozens and dozens of people, it seems.
Yeah, and quite logical. If someone is doing something bad and he's getting away with it, he's for sure not going to make it just once.
Yeah, the floodgates are open, exactly, yeah.
That's Melba Pearson, a former prosecutor who's
Kelly,
followed the Diddy case meticulously since it broke. Her interest actually dates back farther than just last month, when Diddy's Bad Boy for Life mantra was just a song. And we know about the allegations now that have happened in the past couple of months via these civil suits. But if we go back, I know that you have kind of followed Diddy for a while, and you're pretty knowledgeable about that era. From the 90s until now, prior to these civil lawsuits being filed, was there talk of wrongdoing on Diddy's behalf?
There really wasn't. You know, to compare him to R. Kelly, for instance, there were rumors swirling around R. Kelly from the beginning, and that
wasn't he like unofficially dating like a 14-year-old or something like that?
Yeah, there was something like that. I remember it.
I knew R. Kelly was. I knew that he was a problem because, like, I remember, like, this was nuts. So, like, you know how they would do, like, these shows where, like, they do an investigation into, like, some weird person and it's, like, a, you know, an episode of a show? Like, there was a whole season, like, a whole TV series, and it was only dedicated to R. Kelly. How the fuck can you fuck up that many times that you have an entire television season dedicated to just you? That's crazy.
Imagine what the fuck up you have to be, huh? And of course, where there is smoke, most of the time there is fire. So yeah, TV, they want to make money, but they are going to play safe. So if it's not true, they will not risk it because they could get in serious trouble, getting sued, and yeah, they have no reason to risk it.
Even like, you know, I don't know, a lot of like super popular like shooters and gunmen, they still have one episode. With this guy, it's a whole fucking season.
This guy was a menace, and more a menace again.
To a very underage Aaliyah, and that's when folks were like, okay, something doesn't seem right here. But like, kind of put it to the side, just kind of put a pin in it for a few decades until all the bombshell allegations and ended up being proved in a court of law came forth. I feel like with Diddy, we didn't hear that much. We knew that he partied hard. We knew that he was always going to high-profile events and all of that. But I personally have never heard any rumors surrounding any wrongdoing or anything having to do with him. This is an artist who really came to prominence in the 90s. We remember all of the videos. He was very close with Biggie Smalls, who also tragically lost his life back in the late 1990s, early 2000s. And so he was somebody who had this whole orbit around him, and so many different artists like Maze and all these different folks that sprung out from this record label and orbit
He
that
got
they were
Biggie
in.
killed.
So he had a huge impact on
It is possible,
what
though,
R&B and hip hop
to get
looked
him
like
killed.
in
Who
the
knows?
90s and the 2000s, and continue to be influential today in terms of other artists that have, gained prominence
Yeah,
and
everybody
gained
knows
fame,
this guy.
as
Yeah, for
well
sure.
as him as a producer having this really huge presence.
Yeah,
in the
he's
industry.
a
So
really big one.
absolutely, this is a
He has a
bombshell,
huge
and this is something
songs and
where the impact is going to be
as a producer
reverberating
as well.
around
So
the globe for
yeah.
a variety of reasons.
But during this era, Diddy did have some trouble with the law. Back in 1999, he was arrested and charged in a shooting at a New York nightclub. His then-girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez, and rapper Shine were also arrested. J-Lo's charges were dropped, but it was Shine who faced the most serious charges.
That's some hooligan
Attempted
stuff.
murder and criminal possession of a weapon. Ultimately, both Diddy and Shine
Okay,
went to trial.
I take my words back. Murder and possession of weapon is not a hooligan stuff.
He was released in 2009 and deported back to his home country of Belize.
What the fuck?
Wow, I didn't even know that.
What was everyone making
What
of
the
it today?
fuck?
So I think people were not like horrified per se. I
This
think
is all,
they
like,
looked at
some
it
old
as
shit.
this was something that was an outcome.
So we've got these allegations that Diddy was responsible as the shooter, but
Yeah.
also allegations that J-Lo carried the weapon that Diddy used
This
in the
is
shooting.
all
What's interesting here is that
like this
Cassandra
is all like way older shit about like what happened. $100 million judgment. Here we go. This should work.
Breaking news tonight, Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested in a Manhattan hotel this evening after a grand jury indicted the music mogul. His attorney tells CNN that he is currently being processed. The charges are unclear as of this moment. Joining us now is
They just
CNN's
arrest him for being a freak, man. That's it. That's all it takes.
entertainment reporter
Yeah.
Elizabeth Wagmeister.
He's just a freak,
and also
bro.
with
We
us,
gotta get
CNN
him.
Chief legal
Yeah,
correspondent
they're trying to cancel him.
Elizabeth, you
It's
were
what is like he's
upfront
old. He's a good guy.
revealing some details about Diddy's conduct in private over the course of the last couple of months. That video led to a lot more scrutiny on what he has been accused of. What do we know at this point about what this case might ultimately be about?
Abby, at the moment, we don't know what the charges are. I have information that he was arrested tonight at a Manhattan hotel.
There
he
he
is
is.
currently being processed. I
Damn,
heard
what
from
the fuck?
What the
bro,
fuck?
like this guy is
Case might ultimately be about.
Abby, at the moment, we
That was
don't know what
brutal.
the charges
What the
are. I
hell?
have, information
This is
that
from
he was arrested
2016?
tonight at a Manhattan hotel. He is currently being processed.
Damn.
I heard from his attorney they are still maintaining his innocence. They said that in anticipation of these charges,
He's not a
that
perfect
Diddy
person.
relocated to New York
Yeah,
last
he did not
week.
kick
And
his
here's
ass.
the
That was
statement
his
that
double
Mr.
twin
President
evil
says, "We are disappointed
brother.
with the decision to pursue what
We
we
saw this part.
believe." That video that you just spoke about
Yeah.
was a few months ago when our team broke this disturbing
Damn.
video of Diddy violently assaulting his ex-girlfriend Cassandra Ventura, better known as the singer, her stage name Cassie. Now, up until this
And he
Damn.
just, bro, this guy is on a fucking mission. He's not even wearing any
Yes.
clothes. And he pops
Exactly.
the fuck out of his hotel room.
He's on his
Oh.
towel and he's going to kick her ass because he's mad at her. And she was without her socks, so she knew what was coming. That's why she was running from him without even put his socks,
Oh my
her
God,
socks.
look at this.
What the fuck? What a man.
we broke this video,
This is
Diddy
savage.
had denied the allegations
Just fucking
against him.
throws her down
Cassie-
like that. Damn.
What a
This
piece
is
of shit.
Patrick Bateman style. Yes.
What a piece of
Yeah,
shit.
he on his way to
He
return
deserves
some
his
video
ass
tapes.
kicked very, very
Is
profoundly.
10 civil suits against Diddy,
God damn.
9 of which he is accused directly
fucker.
of sexually assault. Up until that
He
video,
kicks it,
he
yes.
denied everything. After that video came out, he changed his tone. He apologized for his conduct in that video.
So he did it.
But I have to tell you,
Of
Abby,
course he
that
did.
has
That was not his evil
actually
twin.
a former
As I said
member
before,
of
you know, I was joking.
one of the bands from making the band Diddy's show that was
Damn,
on
she was
MTV.
beautiful though.
She sued
Quite
him
beautiful.
for sexual
Look
assault
at
and
her.
other disturbing
What the fuck?
allegations, and he denied that. So he continues the denials, and he still maintains
Look
his
at him, he's a
innocence,
some
even
fat
though
pig.
he has been arrested.
Man.
That's beating beautiful women. Oh,
Not a
damn.
huge amount of information available tonight, but Elizabeth, brought up something that I want you to give us a little bit of insight
That's
into.
crazy. Dude's a
Diddi
menace,
is here in New York, in Manhattan.
The dude is piece of shit.
Came here in anticipation that something like this might happen.
Yeah, I bet.
What should we understand about what that might mean? It could very well be that this is a federal arrest being processed here in New York.
So, Abby, there are some important things we do not know, including the specific charges that have been lodged against Sean Combs. But there are some really important things we do know. First of all, based on the attorney's statement, based on our reporting, this is a federal prosecution. It's not a state prosecution. The fact that he's being processed in Manhattan tells me that's the Southern District of New York. That's consistent with the reporting that the Southern District of New York had been handling this case. That's the office I used to work at.
I'm not from the USA. I don't know what's the difference between federal and state. So if you know, guys, write in the comment section.
Sort of specializes in high-stakes cases. Just in the last year or so, Southern District of New York, just as an example, has successfully prosecuted Sam Bankman-Fried, Senator Robert Menendez.
Oh, boy.
The other thing that we do know is a grand jury has indicted Sean Combs, meaning they found probable cause that he committed at least one federal crime. Now, as to what happens next, there will be, likely tomorrow or within the next couple of days, but usually in the SDNY, you try to do it the next day, there will be an arraignment, meaning Sean Combs will appear in court with his lawyers. There are no cameras in federal court. He will be advised of the charges against him, and he will almost certainly enter a not guilty plea, but the key thing to watch for is then we'll have the question of bail. Will prosecutors agree to let him out on bail? Will prosecutors ask the judge to lock him up pending trial? That could end up in a contentious argument. So these are things that are going to play out over the next 24 or 48 hours.
And finally, Abby,
with respect to the charges themselves, it's important to note, we've all seen that video, but assault and sexual assault are not federal crimes. Those are prosecuted in state court. So
what about human trafficking, though?
What I expect to see when we see this indictment is some sort of crime with some element of organization to it.
I'm interested what's the difference and why there is a difference.
And of course, back in March,
I have to check this out. I get curious why there is a difference between state and federal charges.
A lot more to this story will be coming up in the coming days and weeks.
Crazy. Absolutely fucking crazy.
So that was, guys, p.diddi finally arrested for beating his wife and a lot of additional charges like rape and drug trafficking. So there it is. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and subscribe to and like to Aspen Gold as well. Bye bye. Enjoy your life. Have a good day.